Nathan R. Jessup, Commanding Officer, Marine Ground Forces, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 more improvised movie moments.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
For this list, we'll be looking at film scenes or lines that were ad-libbed, unplanned, or otherwise changed from what they were originally supposed to be. What do you make of these moments? Let us know in the comments below.
Hey Mojoholics! For a chance to win cash prizes, play our live daily trivia challenges every day at 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern only at WatchMojo.com/play.
Number 20. All right. Dazed and Confused. It must feel pretty darn good to have one of your improvised lines become an iconic piece of movie history. All right. Dazed and Confused is a cult classic that is largely remembered for Matthew McConaughey's David Wooderson. David has been widely memed throughout the years, and many of his lines are modern-day classics. One of them is, of course, all right, which is now something of a catchphrase for McConaughey himself. According to the actor, that legendary line was completely improvised. He heard action from writer-director Richard Linklater and spontaneously made movie history. Not too bad for your first major gig.
That's what I love about these high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age.
Number 19. Al Pacino hits a garbage can. Scent of a Woman. This movie earned Al Pacino his first Oscar win. He plays Lieutenant Colonel Frank Slade, a cranky man who is blind and is aided by Chris O'Donnell's Charlie Sims. In one of the movie's best sequences, Frank is walking down a busy street, runs into a garbage can, and stumbles.
Colonel!
Legend has it that this was completely unplanned. Pacino apparently got into character by not allowing his eyes to focus, thereby simulating a degree of impaired vision. While shooting the scene, it's been said he genuinely didn't see the can and walked straight into it. Luckily, both he and O'Donnell are consummate pros, so they apparently just kind of ran with it.
How are you doing? Take the cane.
I gotta take a piss.
Take the cane, Colonel.
Happens to the best of us.
Number 18. Stu's song, The Hangover. Hitting the pause button on their efforts to find Doug, the main trio takes a break inside of their trashed hotel suite. Stu uses this opportunity to hop on the piano and sing a short song about his missing friend.
What do tigers dream of when they take a little tiger snooze? Do they dream of mauling zebras or Halle Berry in her Catwoman suit?
The set of The Hangover was evidently quite welcoming, with director Todd Phillips encouraging creative freedom. As such, Stu's song was reportedly crafted by the musically talented Ed Helms.
Don't you worry, pretty striped head, we're gonna get you back to Tyson and your cozy tiger bed. Then we're gonna find our best friend Doug, and then we're gonna give him a best friend hug.
According to Helms, he would often goof around on the piano while filming, so Phillips decided to have him sing in the movie. The result was Stu's song, and one of the most memorable laughs of the whole film.
Doug, oh, Doug, 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 Doug.
Number 17. Eating Baby Corn. Big. This classic Tom Hanks comedy concerns Josh Baskin, a 12-year-old kid who makes an ambiguous wish to become big. The next day, the preteen is suddenly grown into a grown man portrayed by Hanks.
You turned me into a grown-up. It was last night at the carnival. My birthday's November 3rd. Mom, I gotta be in my history test.
Here, take the purse. You can have anything that's in it.
The result is a lot of great physical comedy, with the adult Hanks often acting like a child. The iconic actor brought a lot of creative magic to the performance, including one scene in which Josh eats baby corn like corn on the cob. Apparently, director Penny Marshall signaled to Hanks that she wanted him to do something with the corn, and this is what we came up with. It was so great it ended up in the movie, which we think was a great decision. Number 16. Mrs. White's speech. Clue. Near the end of this classic whodunit, Mrs. White comically describes her hatred for Yvette.
Yes, I did it. I killed Yvette.
This is a defining and utterly hilarious moment in the movie, and it largely came from the creative mind of actress Madeline Kahn. Director Jonathan Lynn was reportedly quite strict about improvising and generally liked to keep to the script. However, this scene proved the exception as Kahn seemingly couldn't help herself. She took a straightforward line from the script and spinned it into comic gold, rambling and perfectly stumbling over her words. The confused reactions from the other characters were also genuine, as the actors had no idea what Kahn was saying.
I hated her so much. Flames on the side of my face, heaving breaths.
Number 15. Many Moments. Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. And here we come to the other end of the spectrum. Anchorman had a script courtesy of Adam McKay and Will Ferrell, but it seems that as director, McKay gave his actors lots of freedom when it came to improv.
I love desk.
Brick, are you just looking at things in the office and saying that you love them?
I love lamp.
According to Paul Rudd, they would shoot the scene how it was written in the script and then do takes where they just improvised and play it off each other. As such, many of the movie's more iconic lines were ad-libbed by the actors, including Brick's famous I love lamp moment. Another was apparently Ron Burgundy's glass case of emotion, a brilliant term for the phone booth that's been said to have been made up by Will Ferrell.
Ron, where are you?
I'm in a glass case of emotion!
Number 14, Going to 11 and much more. This is Spinal Tap. Rob Reiner is a brilliant director who is clearly a fan of improv. For example, the iconic
I'll have what she's having
from When Harry Met Sally was reportedly made up by Billy Crystal and given to Reiner's mother to say. But that's nothing compared to This is Spinal Tap. Reiner told the British Film Institute that almost the entire movie was improvised. Usually all they had were loose story arcs guiding how a scene should play, with some material anchoring the story. For example, they knew they wanted an amp that went to 11, but the bulk of the ordeal is pure improv magic, with the dialogue being made up on the spot by Christopher Guest and Reiner himself.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
Number 13, The Truffle Shuffle, The Goonies. This iconic film from Richard Donner is known for its sense of adventure, but that would mean nothing without a memorable cast of characters at the helm.
But right now they gotta do what's right for them, because it's their time. Their time! Up there! Down here, it's our time. It's our time down here.
One of them is Jeff Cohen's Chunk, who is unfortunately often ridiculed for his appearance. In one of the movie's most well-known scenes, Chunk is told he has to do the truffle shuffle before he can come into the house. He proceeds to lift his shirt and shake his belly while making a funny face. According to Donner, he didn't give any direction to Cohen, and the silly dance was made up by the young actor. Number 12, Takagi Won't Be Returning, Die Hard. At a time of wild excess in the action movie industry, Die Hard brilliantly flipped the script. One of the most notable aspects of the groundbreaking film was villain Hans Gruber.
Nice suit. John Phillips, London. I have two myself.
He wasn't a stereotypically macho guy, but rather a sharp-dressed and wickedly intelligent man who utilized wits over brawn. Alan Rickman understood the assignment and, apparently, personally crafted one of the movie's most darkly comedic lines. After killing Takagi, Hans informs the building that their boss won't be returning for the rest of his life. The line was reportedly improvised by Rickman, and his coy delivery makes it a classic.
I wanted this to be professional, efficient, adult, cooperative, not a lot to ask. Alas, your Mr. Takagi did not see it that way, so he won't be joining us for the rest of his life.
Number 11, Sam Doesn't Care, The Fugitive.
We gotta go for it.
A classic cat and mouse thriller, The Fugitive stars Harrison Ford as the titular good guy and Tommy Lee Jones as his pursuer, Deputy U.S. Marshal Sam Gerard. Jones is a veteran of the screen, and he knows when something sounds good. During the storm drain scene, Kimball makes one more effort to convince the marshal of his innocence. Sam isn't having it and coldly responds by saying,
I don't care!
Jones was reportedly supposed to say something along the lines of, "So you didn't kill your wife, not my problem," but it seems he decided to put a little spin on it. We think he did a great job, as the new line sounds far colder and more unforgiving. Number 10, Game Over, Man, Game Over, Aliens. In this iconic sequel from James Cameron, the late Bill Paxton plays Hudson, a soldier sent to investigate planet LV-426.
Man, this floor is freezing.
What do you want me to do, fetch his slippers for you?
Gee, would you, sir? I'd like that.
Hudson is, let's face it, a bit of a whiner, but his anxious personality helped make him a fan favorite. His immaturity is on full display after the dropship crashes, leaving him and the other heroes stranded on the planet. Hudson goes into full panic mode and utters one of the most iconic lines of the franchise.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
The "what are we supposed to do now" part of the dialogue was scripted, but Paxton reportedly added the famous game over bit himself. Number 9, The Cinderella Story, Caddyshack. Bill Murray is said to have improvised many of his most famous on-screen moments, like excitedly greeting Ned Ryerson with a hug in Groundhog Day and claiming that ghosts ate the piano in Ghostbusters.
I hate this. I like to torture him.
But the best has to be the Cinderella story from Caddyshack. Legend has it that Murray improvised most of his lines, receiving only vague directions from Harold Ramis. That was apparently the case with this scene, in which Murray was reportedly simply told to behave in kid-like fashion. It seems he did the rest, using a grass whip as a golf club and imagining himself at the U.S. Masters.
He's got a beautiful backswing. Dad, oh, he got all of that one.
Number 8, Miracle Max, The Princess Bride.
The king's stinking son fired me, and thank you so much for bringing up such a painful subject. While you're at it, why don't you give me a nice paper cut and pour lemon juice on it? We're closed!
It's obvious that Rob Reiner and Billy Crystal had a great working relationship and that Reiner understood the genius of Crystal's brand of comedy. The comedian briefly appeared in Reiner's The Princess Bride, donning a heap of makeup to play Miracle Max. Crystal spent just 3 days on set, and Reiner allowed him to ad-lib many of his lines. The result was total joy, not just for the audience, but for the folks on set as well. Reiner even stepped away due to laughing too hard. Mandy Patinkin also claims that he potentially cracked a rib while trying desperately to contain his laughter.
Well, with all dead, there's usually only one thing that you can do.
What's that?
Go through his clothes and look for loose change.
Number 7. Wonka's introduction. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Willy Wonka is, shall we say, a wee bit of a troll.
Don't just stand there, do something!
Help. Police. Murder.
The guy loves to have a laugh, and yes, the jokes often come at the expense of children. Wonka makes his first public appearance after years living as a recluse, and it's not what the kids were expecting. He seems frail and delicate, walking slowly with a cane and not displaying much in the way of mirth. However, he reveals with a playful somersault that it was all an act. This entire bit came to be thanks to the late Gene Wilder, as he wanted to characterize Wonka as untrustworthy and hard to read. In Wilder's own words, no one would know if I was lying or telling the truth.
Delighted to meet you, sir. Overjoyed, enraptured, entranced. Are we ready? Yes. Good. In we go.
Number 6. The Necklace Presentation. Pretty Woman.
If I forget to tell you later, I had a really good time tonight.
The titular Pretty Woman is Vivian Ward, a sex worker who is hired to be a social escort for Edward Lewis. At one point, Edward presents Vivian with a gorgeous and very expensive necklace. In real life, this piece of jewelry is rumored to have been quite expensive, but that's not even the wildest part of the story. During the presentation, he playfully closes the box on her hand, causing her to laugh in surprise. This was actually an unscripted prank planned by Richard Gere and director Gary Marshall, so Julia Roberts' reaction is real. The central pair's chemistry is just off the charts, and this brilliant bit only added to their magnetism. Number 5. The funniest ending in movie history? Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Stanley Kubrick is known for his dense and complex dramas, but he also had a stellar eye for comedy. Dr. Strangelove is a brilliant satire of the Cold War and, by extension, humanity's penchant for violence and destruction.
If, prior to this time, we have done nothing further to suppress their retaliatory capabilities, we will suffer virtual annihilation.
Much of the movie's genius stems from its star Peter Sellers, who improvised the bulk of his dialogue. Sellers' greatest achievement seems to have been the movie's famous ending, in which Dr. Strangelove randomly rises from his wheelchair and realizes that he can walk.
I have a plan. Monsieur! I can walk!
This fantastic bit of comedy was reportedly all Sellers, and it's now regarded as one of the funniest endings in movie history. Few people could match Kubrick's genius, but Sellers was evidently one of them. Number 4. Mr. Blonde's Dance, Reservoir Dogs. Despite his cheery and rather innocent-sounding name, Mr. Blonde is anything but. He's actually quite sadistic, and this is coming from the other criminals of the movie.
Psychopath ain't a professional. Can't work with a psychopath.
Blonde's mean streak is best exemplified in the infamous dance sequence, which sees him tormenting a police officer. According to actor Michael Madsen, the only real direction given in the script was Mr. Blonde maniacally dances around. It was up to him to decide what that looked like. Madsen had also reportedly never rehearsed the dance with Quentin Tarantino, so he simply made it up on the day of shooting. The rest is history.
Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right, here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
Number 3. You Can't Handle the Truth, A Few Good Men. You Can't Handle the Truth did for courtrooms what I'm King of the World did for boats. It's basically impossible not to say it while inside one.
Hey, look, I'm King of the World! Woo!
It's an absolute zinger, and in 2005 it was rated the 29th best American movie line of all time by the American Film Institute. Not too shabby for Jack Nicholson. Yeah, the movie was penned by legendary screenwriter Aaron Sorkin, but it was apparently Nicholson who came up with this particular quote. It's believed that the line in the script read, "You already have the truth," but that doesn't sound as sharp. Enter Nicholson, who seemingly made a couple, shall we say, unforgettable alterations.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Number 2. I know. Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back.
What if he doesn't survive? He's worth a lot to me.
The Empire will compensate you if he dies. Put him in!
It was the moment everyone was waiting for. Princess Leia, devastated that Han is about to be frozen, finally tells him that she loves him. And his response, not "I love you too," not a reassuring smile, but a cold and unflinching "I know." In the script, Han actually does respond with the banal "I love you too," but Harrison Ford recognized that it doesn't really fit the character's snarky and unemotional personality. They reportedly shot the scene with Ford sticking to the script for protection. Ford himself came up with the "I know" that ultimately gave us movie magic.
I love you.
I know.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Don't forget the dessert, The Godfather. Francis Ford Coppola's masterpiece isn't exactly a humorous affair, but it's not without some laughs. One of the funniest moments comes after Paulie is killed, with Clemenza telling Rocco to
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
It's a fantastic line that not only introduces a macabre sense of normalcy to the violence, but it plays into a previous line about Clemenza being told to pick up cannoli. It's also delivered in a dry comic fashion by actor Richard Castellano, which helps get across just how mundane these activities are. The line in both the script and novel is simply "leave the gun." A talk Castellano had with his wife, Ardell Sheridan, led to the idea of adding the cannoli bit and bringing Clemenza's day full circle.
Don't forget the cannoli.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.